And we're live. I'm feeling about as well as the Padres bats, but it's what it is.
It's the price you
Hard.
pay to go on a cruise, Jack. You
Yeah,
know?
I'm been on 3 cruises and now I've come back sick twice.
Yeah,
But it's worth it. It's worth. I'd still do it again.
yeah. It's
I
like
already got
the
planned 2 more.
it's like the kids when they're young and they're going to kindergarten. It's the living petri dish, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I thought I was immune because I've been doing, with our grandkids that come over sick. Cindy's the one
yeah.
that's been getting sick, not me. I built up to their snot nose immunity. So I don't know what happened on the trip, but I got something. It could have been in the airport too.
Yeah. Maybe that's what's wrong with the Padres. Maybe they're just all sick. I don't know.
Maybe it's. I'll be honest with you. They're what 7 games over 500 right now.
Yeah, and
They're the most. They're the
no
boringest.
explanation why.
They're the boringest 7 games over 500 first place team in baseball this year. They're just
it
boring.
it reminds me, my wife. There's been times where I'm a little bit deeper into college basketball. I kind of waned off of it over the last 4 or 5 years, the whole NIL thing. But anyway, he used to come in and just like, why don't you just watch the last 2 minutes? Well, that's our Padres this year. Just
Yeah.
almost like just turn on the TV in the seventh inning. Just don't even bother watching. I got all excited today. I'm like, all right, we got, runners on second and third of the first inning. Sheets hits a bullet. Guy makes a great play, throws him out. I'm like, man, do we ever score in the first inning? Uh, that's do
So
we
I
ever?
didn't know what happened. I didn't turn the game on until the bottom of the first, and it was bases loaded and went out. And I'm like going, I don't think it's a bait. Oh, he walked everybody. Then he walked
Yep.
in a run, and then it's just his command was off. It was just it's one of
Yeah.
those games. But it's once you got down 6-0, thinking, okay, can they pull it back? Because I think I tweeted yesterday, or maybe it was today. I've learned to start watching the Padres in the ninth inning.
Yeah, I mean, it's the grit and determination. I mean, it's let's talk about the glass half full kind of stuff, Jack. I mean, it's been, I was watching MLB TV. They put out a segment where was Brian Kenny talked about, all statistics that are so bad for the Padres and everything, but he says this team's um, just defiant. Like they just, they won't let it go, and they've come back so many times, and so it's the old. Well, that's a good thing, but then you get to the, you know, other stuff. But yeah, the be able to come back. They got the slug when they need it because it's not just Sheets, although he's hit three of them. We've had Bogey, and Ty France. We've had some guys that have showed up, Machado, that have showed up and
Castellanos.
hit Castellanos and Andujar, So there's a lot of guys who are hitting the clutch home run, no doubt about it. How many times they've come back, everything. And then you got to compliment the bullpen. Bullpen's been outstanding.
Yeah,
Even today they were handed a 6-0, and it ended up giving up one run the rest of the way. I mean,
yeah.
I know it doesn't mean anything when you lose 7-1, but the fact of the matter, it's not the first time they've done that. They've just been very, very good. So to me, those are the two things that are on the positive side. I don't know if you got any others, but that's what I
Well,
keep
again,
hinging my hopes on.
I'm being positive. It's positive that they're winning without their big three. I put it right there. Not hitting, not producing, not. It just it's and my theory is Astros go Astros. Um, anyway, my theory is it's the old. You watch their at bats. Tatis, it's either high and inside or they're pitching him outside. And he's outside the strike zone. He's swinging at it. The
Right.
reason I didn't have a home run is they're not. He doesn't have many opportunities to hit the ball square because they're not pitching him in the heart of the plate. As long as he keeps swinging at everything away and just kind of frailing and all that stuff, why would you throw him a strike?
Yeah.
There's no reason. And Merrill's the same way. Merrill has just
Well, the team's the
completely.
same way. You got Endahar at 289, and you got Campisano, who's a part-time player on the IL right now, at 288, and Bogart's at 257. And as I scour through this, those are your three highest averages. Everybody else is below 250.
Yeah.
And I know this is a different era, where people won't necessarily look at all the averages and things like that. But um, bottom line is they're not slugging enough to make those
To be
okay.
off balance it.
Yeah,
Well, Oz just posted something that Pomerantz tweet 10 plus strikeouts in the last 6 games.
yeah,
I mean, that's crazy. Hey, Alex.
yeah, yeah. Just a
Alexi.
lot of swing and miss, but more than anything, I think you hit it on the head. Again, I'm not a hitting coach, and I don't want to pretend like all of a sudden I've become one, but I think pitch selection for a few batters has been a problem. My boy Jackson Merrill, just man, I get it. Sometimes you want to go for the first pitch, but it's become that regular thing again, where it's, we talked about Arise last year, how he'd always take the first pitch,
Yeah.
and I talked about it then personally. It's like you have a variation here, but you got to know it's not just knowing the strike zone; it's knowing what your zone is. To me, that we've kind of lost because there's no doubt these guys are professional hitters. They can probably hit a ball that bounces up onto the plate, But is that the best pitch, the best selection to go? The game we lost in the first game, uh, Merrill had, we had 2 runners on. We're down, 2 runs. He swung at the first pitch and hit just a one hopper to the, second baseman.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, that wasn't the pitch to drive, So, um, yeah, okay, well,
All right. We're going to block that guy
yeah,
because,
sorry, you just hit the wrong button there, buddy. Yeah.
yeah, let me see it.
So you just gotta suck it up for a while, I guess. I mean, I was hoping that between this series and the Seattle series, which is still to come, that the Padres would find their bats and get ready for the Dodgers series. I know they're all having problems. We're not the only ones that aren't hitting. Dodgers aren't hitting. I think Otani finally broke his 110 at bat streak with a home
No,
run.
the Dodgers aren't hitting at all either.
Yeah. And it's a shame. Of course, you'd love to take advantage of it, but at the same time, if you're going to have a losing, not streak, but a losing segment of 10 games, at least you did it at the same time the Dodgers are having the same problem. So,
Right.
would love
I'm
to
just
have made
hope
up some ground, but yeah.
because you look at Merrill. I still like when Merrill has a pitch in the zone, he has a beautiful swing.
Yeah.
But like I said, he can't lay up. It's like League of Their Own. What's her name? She can't lay off the high one.
Can't lay off the high one. Yeah.
And that's Merrill's problem. They just move him up the ladder and boom, he strikes out. I'm like going, he's got to start figuring this out because, like you were saying, swinging at the first pitch every time, you could do that probably 20, 30 years ago. And, it would take word of mouth for it to get out that, hey, what's his name swings at the first. Now they have analytics and they have AI and they have all this stuff. You have to be different. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, the analytics has taken over in some fashion, or in some opinions, it's too much. In others, it's perfect. But you're right. I mean, now you see the kind of reminds me. Again, I like to golf, and sometimes you go to golf courses and they just got the front pin yardage, the middle yardage, and the back yardage. But you go to some, and they've got the 9 quadrants, and they'll literally space them out. Well, you start looking at the hitting zones now. They've got it down to that degree, and I'm sure they've probably even got it further than that if they want to. But you see guys, and it's just mind blowing how you can tell where this is where you pitch the guy. Like, I mean, literally, if you can put it on the high outside right, his average is 150. But if you move over one little space, it goes to 300. So
well, that's happened that's why Otani. They said Otani was slumping.
Yeah.
Pitchers were pitching him at his weak spot. When he hit that home run the other day, they go, why would the pitcher go back there?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good pitch, but it was in his zone. That's where he, hits. If there's a certain, everyone has a weakness.
Yep.
But I think the three, like Manny Machado, does Manny Machado have any? I mean, there was twice yesterday he could have tapped his hat, tapped his helmet, and it would have been a ball. And he just, I know he says he's not going to do it.
I think there's some guys that just, like, I'm not going to use my challenge. I didn't get to watch the whole game today, but apparently we got to the 9th or 8th inning, and there was a questionable call, and Jesse Aguilar, who's the radio, said both teams are out of challenges, and you're like, oh crap, you never want to
Yeah.
get there. And
Well, for me, challenge one that was clearly a ball.
yeah, and he
I mean,
did. I know, what was it, yesterday or the day before? He did it like in the first inning, and
it
it
was the
was like
first pitch.
it was like 1-0 or first pitch,
Yeah,
and you're
something like that.
look, I don't care if you think you're right. That's just not the place to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
those are valuable. So, but yeah, so the positives are the bullpen's been great. I love what we got there, but what worries me is is the starting pitching gonna fall apart? Now I don't know about you, but the minute that Waldron was brought in and warmed up and brought in, I think he came in the game. I turned off my radio and came.
I believe he came in. I had stopped
So
watching.
Sunday's start is undecided, and that would be Waldron unless they're going to bring up Lucas Giolito.
I think Giolano's going to pitch.
Well, I hope so. Me and you commented the other day. It's just kind of I love what Waldron did for us, a couple of years ago, but man, I don't know if we can keep doing that. And now that Canning's not, he's had 2 of the 3 have been, fairly rough starts. It's like, we can't afford to keep getting behind 3, 4, or 5 runs. Yeah, we have comeback ability, but that's not the way you want to. You don't want to go 2 out of 3 games in the series where you have to come back from large deficits. So,
yeah, and again, Waldron again. He's a Padre. I'm going to root for him. It just his stuff has to be pinpoint, and if it's not, he gets bombed.
Yeah, I always ask you if there's a phantom IL for Cannon to keep Waldron. You know what? I don't think so. Honestly, I think they have a decision to make because Marquez went on the IL May the 3rd. They can't keep him there forever. I'm not so sure that Waldron or might be both of them eventually are gone. I think Marquez was coming around a little bit more. Waldron he's had 1 good start. I mean, that's it.
Well, rumor is Waldron's going to go to the bullpen.
That's not a great place for him.
I don't see it. I don't see it either. I'm like, I'm okay saying, okay, thank you, Waldron, for your, but we got to move on.
But yeah, I mean, and the other thing is, it's been written in a couple of articles by guys like Casabell and Dennis Lynn, who I respect a lot. They're got their eyes really on the prize here, and it's not just a problem of well, let's just put them in the bullpen. It's like, then who are you sending down or who are you getting rid of to give them that spot? Your bullpen is full. I mean, it's a great bullpen, but your bullpen is full. We don't have the luxury of carrying 15 bullpen guys, and
unless one of them can hit.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, you look at the top, you got Miller and Morejon and Estrada and Adam, and in the middle you got Peralta and Matsui and Bradley Rodriguez. It's just there's really no room for them. You got your 7 or 8 guys there, and I mean, I could be wrong because I know we got rid of, or we didn't get rid of. We sent Kevin Hart down, but problem is that for Waldron, he doesn't have anything left, no options left.
Yeah, so
and you're not gonna, and you can't send Marquez down. He'd have to be cut. He'd have to be DFA'd. So.
And no one's going to trade for anything for Waldron. Yeah. So I just don't get it. I don't see why he would be kept.
Well, the one concern I have had, and I had it before this season started, is having an ex-pitcher as the manager. Because I know in his heart of hearts, he knows how he wanted to be treated and how much rope he would have liked to have gotten, when he's not pitching well. And I know that's, I always say the toughest thing a manager has to do is to tell a player, you're gone. You're done. Yeah. Sorry. Wish you could have gone a little bit better, but it's a performance based.
Nobody
position.
Nobody wants to have to do that.
But you got to, and so, we'll wait and see. I mean, there's a lot of phantom ILs that can happen. So
if Waldron got released, I'm sure he'd get picked up by somebody.
Yeah. So somebody's always willing to work with somebody who's got 94, 95 mile an hour, got a unique pitch. He's the only guy in baseball right now throwing a knuckler, the pure knuckle. I know a lot of guys have a knuckle curve. I'm not
Right.
really sure of the difference. And I mean, I know the difference as far as physically a knuckler just wiggles around, and knuckle curve goes down and wiggles around. But
Right.
uh, um, yeah, I don't know. And Marquez, I don't know if he'd be picked up. But again, the problem with that is if you drop him, he's gone. You know.
Right.
The good thing is King's pitching great. Vasquez is pitching great. And
Well,
who am I
King
missing?
got hosed.
Bueller's actually coming around a little
Yeah.
bit. You know, he looks like he's been solid.
King got hosed that inning where they scored the run.
Yeah.
You know, I know
Bad
Fernando's
decision by Machado. Yeah.
Well, Machado and Fernando not covering first, and so
Yeah.
I realize he hasn't played second base a lot, but it's like, okay, this is Little League. But
yeah, and I didn't get to see the play, but I wasn't sure if it wasn't a matter of to me, it was confusing on who was supposed to do what. You know, you have wheel plays, you have, somebody maybe missed the signal. That could have just been the honest explanation of it, because maybe Fernando thought the play was the first baseman's going to go back to first. I'm going to hang around second, and then you get it wrong.
Well, on that one play, France could have easily gone back to first, and Fernando could have got the ball. But once he saw, once you see, you have to. But he's. And I don't know what Machado was thinking on his play.
But that's what I'm saying, though, Jack. I mean, we'll probably never know who was at fault, but somebody missed a signal, because to me, it had all the feel. Somebody didn't go where they were supposed to go. Yeah,
there were 3 or 4 plays in that inning that led to 1 run. You're like going, what are we doing? The ball hasn't even left the infield. But luckily, Sheets came up and clobbered one. And it's funny, as I felt confident in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And when he hit it, I said, "There he goes." And then
it's funny. I host a local trivia contest here, on Wednesday, every other Wednesday, and so I had given the question, and all of a sudden, my son-in-law's father is a big Padre, whole family, big Padre fans, starts yelling, and I'm like, "What did I yell? What did I ask wrong here?" I realized he was watching the TV in the corner, because we're, the place was a kind of quasi sports bar. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
That's why, with the grit this team has, and again, I think it's been the pitch. The games they're winning, they're coming back. The pitching's keeping them in the game.
Yep. Yeah.
If the games that kind of get blown out, you're like, okay, they just don't have the offense consistently to come back from that.
Yeah.
But but once if it's tied or 1 run down, and that bullpen, the meat of the whole bull, even Matsui's come back strong. Estrada's come back strong. That's why you're saying, who's going to go down? I mean, what's going to happen here? And
and the rub differential shows that and everything, because I sit here and look at the runs scored. We're kind of a little bit below middle as far as the National League. It's not like we're just horrible. It's not good, but it's not horrible. And same thing with the pitching. We're kind of middle of the road. But again, I guess that's where we have to get our encouragement, Jack. We keep saying it over and over, and I know we've been gone for a couple of weeks, but we were saying it before we left. It's like, okay, sooner or later, the back of the scorecard is going to show up for these guys. So the Merrills, I mean, all of them. I'm not even going to name them all, because I take up the whole show. These guys all have struggled. There's not one guy on offense right now. I'm looking again. I don't think there's one guy on offense that you can sit there and say, okay, that guy's having a good year. Like he's really, having an outstanding, start. Bogey's as close as it gets, but even by his standards, 257, not all that great. I mean, it's not overwhelming.
They're still struggling to find a leadoff hitter. I would probably just stick with Bogarts up there, maybe move Tatis back. I would move Merrill. I would drop down to 6th or 7th in the lineup.
Well,
until he gets his confidence back.
Yeah, we thought that's what was going to happen. I think me and you even talked about it when they dropped Fernando down to like 6th in the lineup.
Yeah, that's when we were on vacation.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, that's a good move. I mean, but I think it was only one game. He just did it one game, and then that was it. So
Yeah.
and don't worry about Ruckus. Still happy, loving my life, love my
Yeah.
Padres. Sometimes we just get
I
on
do
here, got to
enjoy
air a little
watching.
bit of
I
air
do
the little
enjoy watching two
frustrations.
people
Yeah,
beat the crap out of each other.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna
Never
lie. I
watched
mean,
one. Yeah,
I've watched a few. I watched a few of them. Go, okay, how are these people going to have
yeah,
any brain function later on in
yeah.
life?
It's like
Um,
gladiators. Yeah,
yeah, but no, it's not that I'm unhappy. It's hey, we're in first place, but
yeah.
it's like
And
how the hell
but
are
it's
we?
not a. But to your point, you said it a few minutes ago, Jack. It's not the most exciting brand of baseball to watch.
No,
Again, I'm a fan of a 2-1 game. I'm a fan of every once in a while having a slugfest. I think the variety is what makes baseball unique. I like that. It just feels like we're on an island right now where everything is 2-1, 3-2, 3-1. That's a very hard way to keep winning.
and again, I know hitting is the hardest thing to do in any sport. I fully believe
Yeah,
that,
averages tell
and
you that.
I know
Yeah,
that your best players fail 70 what's 3 out of 10 times. They only
seven
are
out of ten
successful
times.
three out
Yeah,
of 10, 7 out of 10 times. But I see hitters that have been just literally great hitters. Tatis, Bogarts, Merrill, and Manny and Machado, and they have some of the worst at bats. It's just like okay, it's like they've never played before.
yeah.
And to me, when I'm watching that, that's not fun to watch. Now I get it when a pitcher is just dominant and they're blowing it by you, but when you're swinging a pitch that's 3 feet outside. I'm like, all right, how can you keep falling for that?
Well, the funny thing is I was listening to ending innings on my way home. Jesse Agler brought up a point. He was talking to Tony Gwynn Jr. on the radio, and he says, "Yeah, we did this on our own. We looked because we talked about the quality of pitching that the Padres have been facing." And he says, by our own estimation and by our own opinions, they have faced 9 aces, and he named them off. Guys like Christopher Sanchez and Logan Webb twice, and Skubal and Skeens, and he named off the 9, and he goes, you know what their record is against those 9? They're 4-5. I mean, considering those are 9 of the best pitchers in baseball, that's not bad.
No.
So we used to have this problem. I know a couple of years ago, how many times you'd come on and talk about, could you please not throw your 6.75 ERA at us? We suck.
Yeah,
Every time
exactly.
we'd face somebody that had struggled mightily and everything. Well, isn't that what happened on Tuesday, the first game?
Yeah,
The guy came in, he had a 6-something ERA, and he shut us down. And you're
yeah.
like, wow, and maybe that is just because they haven't seen the guy. I mean, a lot of times that is it. You haven't seen the guy, or maybe you only seen him once. I know that's got to be tough. I mean, it's tough, like you said, as hitting is to go against somebody. It's like I have got a scouting report in front of me, but until I'm out there, I can't get comfortable with the guy.
Yeah, and people are saying, well, Tatis doesn't care. I go, no, the way he's playing defensively and the way he's running the bases when he's on,
Yeah,
he cares.
first
He's
guy out
just
of the dugout when somebody else
yeah,
hits a home
yeah.
run. Yeah,
I hate when they say he doesn't care because he obviously cares.
yep,
He just for whatever reason, I obviously think with Tatis, it was getting hit all the last couple of years, getting hit all the time. They pitch him inside, and then they're just not giving him anything to hit.
yeah.
He's not able to drive the ball because he's not getting those balls, over the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he'll turn it around. I mean, I have people on Facebook sending me messages. What's wrong with Tatis? What's wrong?
Well,
Like,
I guess the big thing for me is that, and I'm not trying to defend anybody here, but why is it all on Tatis? I mean, I guess I'm like you. I hear 80% of the complaints is just directly at Fernando Tatis Jr. I mean, and I sit there and I say, okay, so are you even recognizing guys like Machado and Merrill and all these other guys, like they're not having problems, like,
yeah,
but and maybe that's a sign of respect. They just think he's got more talent than all of them and that he should
I
be above it all. But or
I
maybe it's the zero in the home run column that they just can't get past.
I think it's the fact that Tatis is one of those generational talents. He just has it. He can do it all,
Yeah,
and he's just not. He's just not the Tatis. He's the straw that stirs the drink. He's the one that gets the team going with those home runs and bang boom, and it's not happening. And I think that's why people are focusing on him. But like you said, it's the entire team.
yeah.
It's just
And the
they're
fact of the
like,
matter is Tatis was that guy his first year. After that, I mean, he hit the 40 home runs. After that, he has never been above 25.
yeah, but he
You
had
know, so
but he had. It's not just the hits. It's the way he would hit them, like in the
no, and I
playoffs.
and I understand. I'm not trying to downplay
He
what he
he
has done in his career, but
he's like the opposite of who, like I said, I don't ever seen Judge get very excited after hitting a home run. Judge is just a down. Judge is just Tatis is flipping the bat and getting the team fired up. I think that's what and plus the fans like it. The fans like to see that, and we're not seeing it. And I think that's what people are upset with Tatis. Again, we're 7 games over 500. There should be no complaining
yeah.
because
Yeah,
there's not a lot of teams
like I
over
said,
500.
like I said, I'm not going to sit here and take offense at what people think of them because that's their own business.
Yes,
But you look at I was wrong. It wasn't his first year. It was probably his first full year because he only played 84 games in 19, and in 2020 played the shortened season. It was 2021 where he broke out for 42 home runs, but you know, in all his years, 22 home runs, 17 home runs, 42, 25, 21, 25. I think that's more of what he really is. And I'm not arguing the fact that he's obviously seen better days. His career average is 275. So you hope at some point that he gets back to that, kind of thing. But his slug is that, except for that 1 year, is just not really, I mean, I don't know, I don't call it premier, I mean, it's just, I think you're right, though, that he is so athletic, runs the bases like a gazelle. He's got 2 platinum gloves, got a really strong arm, so I'm not sure if we're not expecting too much from him offensively, obviously more than what he is now, but to sit there and say, oh, he's going to be, he should be hitting, 35, 40 home runs. I think that's unrealistic. I think,
I don't
yeah,
even expect that anymore. I'm happy with 25 homers a year.
yeah.
And
And I
but
said at the beginning of the season, if those 4 guys combine, the big 4, Bogarts, Manny, Merrill, and Tatis can hit 100 home runs or more between them, we're gonna be doing just fine. We're gonna be doing
I don't know
just
if you saw
fine.
that play was the first game where he was playing second, dove on the
Oh yeah,
shortstop side of the ball, got up and almost got the
almost
runner
got
on at
him.
first.
Yeah,
I mean, that would have been one of the best plays of the year, maybe ever, because he's
yeah,
going the opposite way of the play.
yeah,
It's not like he's diving towards first base; he's diving away from first base to get up and just a hair. I said, "Don't tell me that guy doesn't care.
right. Yeah.
Don't tell me he doesn't care. I mean, he's just struggling. He's not, but fans are
But
fans, and
you look at the combination I just did real quick, and you make some valid points there. Between the 4 of them right now, they're on pace for 70 home runs as a foursome. That's that's not what you're paying money for.
no,
you're,
no,
you're not paying money for 70 home runs between 4 guys.
no.
That can't that's not a winning formula. Let's put it that way. And especially when you can go and pick, probably 4 other guys on the team who are, not making that kind of money and not expected to be that, and they've got on pace for 70 home runs.
Right.
So you keep saying about it, can the big 3? I call it the big 4, but I know you're not including Bogarts as far as turning it around.
Well, because I thought
But
Bogarts was
he's
been
kind of
playing
middle of
pretty
the
well.
road. Like I said, I mean, he's hitting 257 and he's got 7 homers and 23 RBIs. He's leading the Padres in every offensive category. But his WAR right now is 0.9. He's high on the team. And if if that's all we got, then yeah, we ain't going anywhere. I mean, this fairy tale ride will end and it crash sooner or later if we keep doing this. They know it too. They interview Manny, they interview Castellanos, and they interview these guys. Like, no, we know. I need to hit. I need to get going. So the team obviously cares. I still say it's a really good clubhouse. I actually was. This has been a few weeks ago, I think, when Castellanos hit the home run, and he was using Tatis's bat. And the interviewer asked him, "It's like, so
Yeah.
what's it feel like to be, to have, more home runs with his bat?" That and he said, "That's rude." And I really, really, really like that. Like,
Well,
are you kidding me? That's just a stupid comment question. I'm not going there. Yeah.
obviously he's never seen interviews with Castellanos before. Because
Yeah.
Castellanos, he will call if you ask something stupid, he will call you out. And I go,
Sammy Levitt was talking about this morning on the radio show, and he says, I love Castellanos. I love interviewing Castellanos. But I tell you what, he is the king of the one or two word answer. So if you don't ask a good question, you better be ready with another one, because he'll just go, no, thanks, or no.
yeah.
Oh, well.
And people, it's funny because I saw people say, he's such a jerk. He's the same jerk. I go, no, that was a terrible question. You're
that was horrible.
There's no what's he supposed to say? Yeah, I got more. Haha.
Yeah,
that's my teammate.
Right. Which tells me again, the respect that they have in that clubhouse is paramount. And that's what you do need. Who Torkelson. I don't know who that is. Oz. Torkelson is the one who asked the question. I don't know who that is. Is that that's not a beat writer on the Padres. I know that, or at least I don't know of him.
I know the name Torkelson.
Yeah. Oh, NBC. Okay. Oh, were they on the Peacock or whatever that particular night? That might have been it. Yeah.
We were at sea.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually liking Castellanos more and more and more. I really am. I think he's fit in really well. We've talked about it before. We're not the manager, but it's got to be tough for Stammen to sit anybody down and not use them. I thought it was a kind of an odd choice using Sheets again today against a left-hander. Could have gone with a full right-handed lineup if he wanted to, but decided not to.
I know Sheets had the big homer yesterday, but you got a tough. I mean, it seemed like he was tough on left-handed. I mean, that sat Merrill down. Yeah, I would have gone with another right-hander, but he's with NBC 7.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
News to me.
Anyway, Torkelson, stupid question.
Yeah. I mean, it really was. I mean, I don't know how what. I always say, if you're going to ask a question, you have to have at least some expectation of what the answer would be, or what point you're trying to make, everything. But what were you, like you said, Jack, what were you trying to get out of that? What, you want him to embarrass his teammate and say, "Oh yeah, I got one more than he does"? And it's, yeah, let's pick on the guy that's struggling to hit his first home run after a quarter of the season. He's
obviously pressing, doing it too. I mean, you can see it at each at bat. He's like, Yeah. So it was a stupid question. I'm glad. Again, he's obviously not done his research on Castellanos. that was only going to end one way, and not the way he wanted. And it shows that Castellanos just.
Go ahead.
It shows that he's fit in the. I remember some people on this one guy, Dan Clark. He's a Padre hater. He goes, "Oh, what a great thing for Stammen to have Castellanos, Tatis, Manny Machado all in the same dugout." I go. I've always said, show me a link where they've been a problem, where a former teammate. I mean, Castellanos is different because I know he had issues in Philadelphia, but show me a link where a manager, where Schilt said something bad about him, or Green, or a player that left said, yeah, they were the problem in the clubhouse.
Right.
No one has ever said anything. Nope. It's because you don't like them. Yep. That's the whole thing. You don't like them, so that's what you say. I just don't think that
haters are gonna hate. I mean, when somebody's super talented, no matter what team it's on, that's always the guy that other fans are going to hate on. Look, we don't like Max Muncy, and Why? Because doggone it, he's really good and he's really clutch.
And
But he's on the but
but
he's
he's
on the
got a punchable
Dodgers.
face.
Yeah, but he's on the Dodgers. If he was on the Padres, we'd love him. I mean, we've talked
Oh,
in the past. Ricky
I
Henderson, guys like that, where it's like, can't stand him. Oh, he's on our team. Love him. And
I
so,
miss. I look back
unfortunately, with
on the
social
Ricky.
media, you just got people that just want to hate just to hate. They're trying to,
I
it's the old clickbait thing.
With Ricky Henderson, I always respected his game, but I hated when he talked in the third person. But when he came to the Padres, I said, "Oh, that's not an act. That's just Ricky being Ricky."
Yeah.
And so when you got to see him every day, it's like, oh, I was wrong. I missed. Also the press. We didn't have 24. We had 24-hour sports, but we didn't have the access to the internet and all that different stuff. So Ricky being Ricky, he became one of my favorite players of all time because, he was a great leadoff hitter.
But you always hate the guy on the other side. I mean, I hate
Steve
strong
Garvey,
word, but you want to pick on these guys all the time. Because, and again, I personally take it as you just don't like the Padres, so you're trying to find that one guy that you could pull the chain that everybody's going to respond to. And unfortunately, there's idiots on the internet that just take the bait and they start going at it, and it's just like, man,
and I'll be honest,
you just did that person a favor.
I hated Steve Garvey when he came a Padre. Loved him.
Yeah,
great. Hated him as a Dodger.
Yeah. And you dislike them a lot when they leave you too. I remember when Dave Winfield went to the Yankees. I'm like, kidding.
Yeah,
it's just like, God, you got to be kidding me. And you could have, he could have been. Well, at that time, we didn't have Tony Gwynn. It's like you could have been the first Hall of Famer for the Padre. I mean, the first, like you're the guy, kind of thing.
And the sad thing is, it wasn't so much the money because Ray Kroc could have paid him. It was the fact he wanted to go to New York. He wanted to be Reggie Jackson. He wanted the limelight. And I think he would have been better if he stayed in San Diego. That maybe if he was on the '84 team, maybe we win the World Series. Maybe it's
hard to say.
Maybe it's a whole different, whole different.
Yeah, but then you don't have Carmelo Martinez or Kevin McReynolds on the team. So yeah.
Okay, hold on a second.
No, I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying though they wouldn't have had their opportunity to become the players that they were for the Padres. They were a key element in that team. They were a key element on that team. So
if I had my choice, I'm taking Dave Winfield.
Well, of course, I'm not. That's not my statement. My thing is you might not have found either one of them.
You could have said
you never had a chance.
Maybe is without. Maybe we don't draft Tony Gwynn.
Yeah. There's a lot of if and thens, if this guy, what if we would have signed Dylan Cease to that outrageous contract this year?
No, that would have been a mistake.
Well, I'm just saying though, but you telling me the team wouldn't have been better if we'd had the Dylan Cease that's been pitching this year?
Sure.
Well,
but would we have?
That's kind of my thing. You can always sit there and
when we had that Dylan Cease.
Yeah, you can always set. My point is, Jack, you can always elevate the team by saying if they'd have kept this guy and this guy. But if they would have got rid of this guy and this guy, I mean, that's Monday morning quarterbacking for baseball. You can always do that.
But that's what sports is all about, though. It's always about what could have been, what might have been, what should have been. Again, it wasn't about money. It was about the fact that he was going to go, and and I at that time, Kroc was a little. He's an angry guy.
Well, the thing is Dave Winfield also got the largest contract at that time, which sounds funny because it was 10 years, $10 million.
Yeah.
But
which is crazy.
Which is crazy money then. I mean, that was crazy money.
Crazy
money.
Yes.
I don't think Kroc would have paid it. So I have to disagree with you on that one. I know he had money, but it's not like he went out all out on it.
It's just we didn't get anything for him. So that's
free agency sucks. I mean, we didn't get anything for Dylan Cease. Well, we got a. Did we offer him? I was trying to think. We didn't. Did we offer him anything?
I thought we did offer him a qualified offer.
But small potatoes compared to a guy walking out and not taking that qualified.
He's
offer.
pitching great. He's pitching great. But if we had Pivetta, I mean, have you heard any news on Pivetta, Musgrove?
Not a peep. Not a peep. Been looking for it. Have not heard a thing. Which. Me and my buddy Michael, we've talked a few times, obviously, over the last, season here. And, we're always trying to, okay, Is this a load management thing? Are they trying to do what the Dodgers did with Glasnow and Snell last year? I don't think so. Musgrove, to my understanding, has not even thrown a baseball since he went out in spring training. Haven't
That's
heard
the
anything
last.
about
That's the
Pavetta,
last I've heard.
and they were saying 4 to 6 weeks, and I lost my track of my timeline, but I don't believe it's been 6 weeks yet. So
It
not
has been at least.
surprising. I think we're going to be lucky to see Pavetta by the All-Star break, and I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if Musgrove isn't done this year. I just don't know if we're going to see him again.
Well, a lot of people are
It's just
saying
unfortunate.
well, a lot of people are, it's just speculation. They say he might be done forever. I go, I just don't. What bugs me about that is they keep criticizing, how fans are. Oh, he just took the money and run. That's not Joe Musgrove.
No, it's
And
not you, Darvish. It's not Joe Musgrove. These guys want to play. Anybody that sits there and says they're taking the money and run, that's just an idiotic statement. You think that these guys, they're playing for big money. You think they don't want more big money? You think that they don't want to perform so that they can get another contract? Or, I just think that's just the most ridiculous statement.
And I'll say this, Musgrove's contract to me was fair.
Yeah.
It wasn't an overboard. Yeah, it wasn't an over. The only thing with Darvish is he was pretty old, when they gave him the deal. But
yeah, but you look at Darvish, and did you expect a guy who, by many people's opinion, keeps himself in the best shape year round so that he can be ready to go during spring training? I mean, he's the one that got into Musgrove's ear, and that's why they started working out, in December, and that's when Camp 44 got started, because Darvish is like an idol to a lot of guys. I mean, they idolize this guy because of his work ethic and his honesty and his morals.
Well, King said he changed his whole approach to
exactly. So when they sign Darvish, that's what you're expecting. It's like, look, anything can happen to anybody. Aaron Judge could break his arm tomorrow. I mean, there's things that happen.
You better hope he doesn't break his arm tomorrow.
But the bottom line is all you can do is ask a player to be as best prepared as they can to play the game. And when you talk about, what the influence he's had, not only on, like you said, King, Musgrove, Vasquez, all these guys, that's worth part of that contract. It really is. Nobody's going to sit here and say, well, we're paying him $15 million a year, but $3 million of that is for him to be an educator to these guys. It's all part of it, though. That's why you get players who got that reputation. That's why you get the guys with the grit. I like to think that the Baltimore Orioles signed Pete Alonso for that. Like, look, this is a guy that cares about the game. He's going to rub that off on his teammates, and that's part of what we're signing for. It's not just the 50 home runs; it's what he's going to do to everybody around him. So, I think
I agree. But what bugs me about Musgrove is there's no way he doesn't want to get back on the field. I just, and there's a lot of people I'll say, come on, guys.
Yeah, just don't listen to him.
It's his number one. It's a team he grew up watching, the team he grew up rooting for. He wants to win that World Series with the Padres. He pitched the first no-hitter with the Padres. I mean, come on. He
was lights out against the Mets,
Yeah. When you're still young. Yeah. And he 34 maybe.
Yeah, he's starting to get up there a little bit. Yeah.
Still, but he's still, you don't want to say this is into my career. You want to say I'm done at 34. I mean, trust me, I'm 60. I'll be 64 this year. I know you're turning 70 something.
Easy,
73, 75. I know you're up there. But I'm turning 64. 34 to 64.
I can outrun you, Jack.
Well, who couldn't outrun me? A snail could outrun me.
Just saying, man.
I'm a broken man. But I used to be fast, but those days.
So did I.
Yeah. But no, come on. These guys want to be out there. There are some guys, let's face it, in history have taken big paydays and just said, I don't care.
There's very few. I mean, unfortunately, there's a guy that was too honest with Anthony Rendon, who basically just said, I don't care. No, I think that's like so rare. I mean, guy, like to say Steven Strasburg took the money and ran. I mean, It's like I said, look, these guys, a lot of these guys, especially the ones that sign these big contracts. I don't know this, but I'm going to put my opinion out there. These guys that sign these big contracts, they have higher aims than just making the money. They want championships. They want to get to the Hall of Fame. I mean, they want to be all-stars. They want people to look back on
They
their
want to be
careers
remembered.
and be remembered as one of the best players in baseball, or the best third baseman, or the best pitcher, or whatever it might be. They got some egos, man. And I've always said this, if you want to be good at something, you have to have an ego. You have to believe that I'm one of those guys. Like that's my signature. I'm going to go out there and perform, and I'm going to show the world that I'm one of the best players in the league. So
Well, Stevens, go to
I
sleep.
never buy that I don't care thing. Now you can talk about body language. There's frustration, to me, is a bigger body language thing. So when we sit there and talk, or people talk about Tatis not caring, I look at it as he's frustrated. It doesn't mean he doesn't care. In fact, if anything, he cares a lot, and that's why he's frustrated. I mean, you see him walking away. I've seen Jackson Merrill walk away, and they're shaking their head like, "How did I miss that pitch? Like, how did I miss that pitch? Or why did I swing at that pitch?" There's all sorts of variety of
Yeah,
frustration.
what's wrong with me?
Yeah, what's wrong with me right now? That's a
Well,
pitch I would have killed, last year, or 2 weeks ago, or last night, and I went right through it. I can't believe I did that.
well, you brought up Strasburg, and that's a guy that had a Hall of Fame arm.
Yeah,
Had he won't make the Hall of Fame,
no,
but he had a Hall of Fame arm, and he was done by what, 28, 29,
yeah.
maybe. I mean,
I only pitched like I think 3 or 4 legitimate seasons, and after that,
yeah.
it was just in and out, in and out.
I mean, he was when he was healthy, he was unhittable.
Yeah.
He could have gone down as one of the best pitchers of all time, and but now people look at him. Oh, he signed that huge contract. He was a bust. No, he just
Look at the guy on our team, Walker Bueller.
yeah.
After 3 years, I'm never going to call it, because I've got this rule that's like, show me 10 years before I start talking about Hall of Fame and all time and all that kind of stuff. But there's no doubt it crept in your mind. It's like, this guy's like unhittable. Like, this guy just mows people down, and the great ones make you feel like that. As well as that I was a huge Roger Clemens fan. That was my guy. I just loved to watch him pitch. He was just, when he was on, he was unhittable. Pitchers have an edge. Paul Skeens right now. I mean, there was a funny one. Somebody posted Paul Skeens with his first 3 years of stats and his ERA, and it said something along the lines: Paul Skeens is obviously digressing. His ERA in 2 years ago was 1.96. Last year was 1.97. This year it's 1.98. So it's like I could not help but laugh at that. I'm just like,
they should trade him now.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, they got to get rid of this guy before he's not worth it and everything. But that that goes back to some of the topics we talked about before, Jack. The back of the baseball card can be a mother. It's non-forgiving. Everybody will look at your best year and say, why can't he do that? Tatis, Merrill, Machado, all these guys. And you know what? It's what they bought into. It comes with the contract. It comes with the long deal. They're not alone. There's every player that's ever signed a long deal out there has that same repercussion that says, now I have to go to the back of my card, and that's what I'm expected to do every year.
But I think with Manny, if you look at like the careers of a lot of players, his is pretty consistent. His back of the card is okay. He should have tight. 25 to 30 home runs,
it's
100
tight.
RBIs, 260 to 280 hitter. I mean, he's pretty consistent on, and that's what he says. He said it. Yeah, I'll have my back of my card for the season's over. I mean, he'll get it. He just will. I mean, it's just the other two. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking at Manny's, and it's just remarkably consistent. I mean, it's just, he's always. I'm looking at, like, all the full years, and it's basically between 25 and 30, 35 home runs. Somewhere in the vicinity of 90, 90 to 110 RBI. I mean, it's just, hits 275 to 300. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's unbelievable that you
and
can, go
plays
through.
Gold Glove defense. So
Yeah, yeah. So, and the other thing is, so you go back to like his Baltimore years, he's obviously hitting a little bit more home runs and stuff, but they do play at Petco Park, and Petco Park is a pitcher friendly park. So
that's
anyway,
why I
okay,
said.
so we got
I always said with Arenado, I said if you would have put Manny in Colorado,
yeah,
his numbers would have dwarfed.
yeah.
Not that Arenado's not a great player,
No,
but
but yeah,
but
there's I
playing
mean, I think it's silly if you don't admit that there's a difference in where you play. I mean, there
yeah.
it's not always extreme kind of thing, but there is a difference in where you play. Yeah, I don't think anybody can deny that. Just like a guy playing in Cincinnati in the summer. I mean, like of course the ball's going to go out. So
Yeah.
all right, well we got 6 games between now and our next broadcast, and it's at Seattle and then versus the Doyers.
Well, the last thing I had written
And
down
boy,
was
do we have to set we have to
3-2, 3-2, 5-0, and 2-3. I don't know which week that was for.
Let's see. So when was the last time? Let's see. We didn't do this one. We didn't do this one. So that was this one. I believe it was the ones against Arizona and Chicago. That's what it was, and they went 2-3. So
2-3.
So Michael got it right. Even though he wasn't here, we gave him 2-3.
I picked for him, and I should have picked myself anyway.
Yeah.
But Chicago's the White Sox. You got to give Venable some credit. It's done a really.
Yeah.
You look at the White Sox and you go, it's one of those teams. Go name me 5 players, and you're like,
yeah. Got some young talent over there.
Yeah.
So let's see. We got Seattle for 3. Right now we have Vasquez against Hancock, Bueller against Gilbert, and then undecided.
No Cal
undecided
Raleigh
versus Kirby. No Cal Raleigh. Then we go to LA, or LA comes here. King against Yamamoto, which is a fantastic pitching matchup. Then Canning versus Ohtani, and Vasquez versus Sheehan. So
what happened to Glass? I know Glass now got hurt when we were on vacation.
Between him and Snell, it seems like they're always on the IL. But I don't know for a fact if they're hurt, but we just missed him this turn. But
Snell pitched. His first game was pretty bad, but I didn't know if Glass not went on the IL or not. I forgot to look it up.
Damn it. Well, let's see. They have Snell going Saturday against the Angels.
What about Glass now?
Glass now is not on here, so I'm going to assume he's on the IL. So
okay,
yeah. Well, I'll go first. I would love to go more. Seattle always gives us problems, and I know they're not playing well now. So with that, I think 2-1 and 1-2, and so 3-3 is going to be my pick. I don't like. The funny thing is that I always hate it when your ace is going against their ace. Of course, they got 2 pretty big aces. I hate the Canning versus Ohtani. That's not good. I have hope for Vasquez versus Sheehan.
The only thing good about that is Ohtani, when he's pitching, they haven't been hitting him.
Yeah, but you know what? We probably have more success against Ohtani than anybody when it comes to pitching to him.
That's true.
But we'll see. But yeah, 3-3. Shoot. Oz got 4-2.
Mike, I can't believe it said 0-6. Michael's just so negative. I'm gonna go 3-3. I can't go quite 4-2.
And give Michael 2-4. He's not that negative.
I'm gonna go 1-5.
I should have got his picks today, but
I'm going 1-5.
All right. Well,
1-5. If you talk to him tomorrow and he changes it, you can text me and I will go. Okay.
I won't see him until next week. So.
Yeah. All right then. Too bad. Yeah. It's 1-5 for Michael.
All right. But let's hope that Oz is on the right side this time. She's been known to strike gold with her positive predictions.
Well, hopefully it would be nice.
Maybe, I mean, and who knows? Maybe we get there by sweeping the Mariners. I mean, again,
Yeah.
you know, it's a team we've struggled with, but they're not playing that great either right now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, I don't know what their record. They're 22-23, and they've righted the ship a little bit. They're 6-4 their last 10.
Well, Cal Raleigh hasn't had the year he had last year, and to me, he's like Ohtani. He's such a valuable offensive, asset.
Well, him being on the IL doesn't hurt. That's for sure. Even if he was struggling,
he'd be my full-time DH. I would not have him catch. He's too talented offensively to catch.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the problem. I mean, you go for 4.
No, I'm not saying that's the problem. Yeah. I'm saying that.
I mean, he did it last year, bud.
And trust me, he's my fantasy catcher.
Yeah, me too.
But he's done. In fact, it's funny. I had benched him before he got hurt. Yeah. I said, "Dude, you're killing me." But I'm just saying, most catchers don't last.
Yeah. And think how I feel. I drafted. I played best ball, which is where you draft a full team, and there's no moves. It's just like whoever you got for the year. I have Tatis and Jackson Merrill on about 75% of my teams. So right now I'm pretty much in the hole in almost every league I'm in.
My keeper league I'm in, all the guys I've kept, 3 of them I've cut already.
Yeah.
I've cut. I mean, I just had to cut. I mean, I cut.
It's a performance-based sport, right? I mean,
Ward, who last year was money for the
for the Angels.
Angels has been terrible. I had what's his name? The shortstop for the Giants.
Adames.
I just finally cut him, and there's a third guy I cut. I said, "Geez, I only kept 8 guys."
Yeah.
And when I let
that's what makes it hard. You never know what's going to work, though, Jack. I mean,
when I let go, was Bryce.
I
let Bryce Harper go. I said, I just can't have. I have too many first basemen, and Bryce Harper can't. My DH is Schwarber, so I can't have. I'm not going to cut him. So, anyway, my team. I'm in first. I'm like the Padres.
Someone's still first.
And it's funny. My team name is Jack's Padres, and it's like you look at my team, and I'm only leading in RBIs. Everything else, I'm like 4th or 5th, or or last.
I'm the same way, Jack. I have a questionable roster when you look at it. I think my team collectively for the year is hitting about 200, but I'm a half a game out of first.
And this is the
somehow I keep winning, 6-4 or 5-5, and
This is the league I've won 4 of the last 7 years, and the 3 times another guy has won. So it's between me and this one guy, and it's just I don't know. I look at my team, I go, my team sucks because like I said, Merrill, Tatis, Machado are just not hitting, and it's like, God, they're killing me. They're killing me. And
the good thing about fantasy, just like regular baseball, I sit here and look at my starting staff, and it's just phenomenal.
I have a great starting staff, but it's just not.
So so you can get it just like the Padres. You can get it one way or the other. But anyway,
I have a great starting staff, but they're not getting wins.
Yeah.
I got
starters don't get wins all the time. I tell you, that's old school.
Yeah,
that's back when they were in there till the 8th inning and the game was almost over, and then you might bring in a closer. Now they go out after 5. I mean, look what happened to Mizorowski.
Yeah,
pitched brilliant game, got nothing for it. King gave a 1 run, got nothing for it. Yeah,
that's where I've been saying, because my dad used to say it. That's where it should be. Who pitched the best? Not the guy that comes in and like blows the save and then gives.
You're trying to make it subjective for your own purposes, Jack.
No, not. It's stupid. How many times did the guy come in?
You'd be just as mad as if your starter went 5 innings and like, why did he not get the win? He was there when they were winning.
Well, no. If he pitched, like I said, you have a guy come in and pitch 1 inning. Why does he get the win? Especially if the guy comes in and blows the save and they lose the lead, but then come back and your team comes back and he gets the win. why are we rewarding the guy that blew the save?
No, you're not rewarding it. It's a stat. So,
Yeah, it's going to help him in arbitration. Oh, I had.
I guarantee you that I guarantee you the team's got that information at their palm of their hand right now.
I
saying,
had 10.
well, you got
wins.
your 10 wins because 7 of them you blew the save. So
yeah, I'm telling you, 10 wins.
All right, Jack.
Change that stat.
Change that.
I think Oz, are you with me? Oz, are you with me?
I think Oz probably just fell asleep with your.
No, I'm
subject change there.
behind that one.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Hasta luego.
Take care, man.
And goodbye. And I might be changing the YouTube feed to a different feed. All right. Bye, everybody. Oh, Oz agrees with me. Thank you. Oh, wait. In stream. It's been so long since I've done